Hello everybody and welcome to Dynamic GT League's Essses Championship, forgot what it was called for a minute then, for races 5 and 6 for Watkins, Glen and another circuit called Sardegna. As we've got the championship standings on the board, we're going to say hello to Ray, our co-commentator. How are you today, Ray?
I'm very well, how's yourself?
I'm fantastic. I'm on my second beer of the day, so I'm okay. Connor's not with us this evening, unfortunately. Hopefully we will get him back in on commentary again soon. But yeah, looking at the championship standings, right? A bit of a battle going on up at the top there, isn't there?
Yeah, only split by 1 point. Jesus.
1 point and 2 races. And we'll get on to that in a bit. So yeah, 1 point between them, bit of a gap to Demon Art Pal leading the battle for 4th, and it's actually quite close for a few of the drivers, sort of 4th to 6th, and then 7th down is very close indeed. Now the last few races we have had a couple of drivers missing. Jason isn't able to race today. And neither is donkey riding. Gary also not with us yet. He did join us before the race to say hello with the newborn baby. And once again, congratulations to them. But would you like to take us through the grid, Ray?
Yeah, it's in championship order, isn't it? So there's Conrad on first place, Steve F1, a point and a position behind, and then it's Demon R. And then we go to Art Pal, pretty good championship he's having here, sitting 4th.
Yes.
And then SGP in 5th.
Yeah. Nelly sitting in 6th, sitting pretty. He's not pretty, but we'll say it in it anyway. Rumbar in 7th place. I've lost position. Critical 8th. Yep. SRI in 9th place. Twilight missed a couple of races last week, sitting in 10th, and then we got Bob back on the track, and Jimmy. First events for Jimmy in this championship, Ray. How do you think he's going to get on here today?
Sideways.
Sideways, yeah, absolutely. Okay, so we've got a 20-minute race coming up. We're at 5 lights, and away they go. Oh, it's a bit of a slow start from Conrad. Steve F1 got a jump on him already. Demon R moving across to cover off Art Pal. Nelly right up behind Art Pal as well. Can Connor hold on to the lead? No. Steve F1 goes through. Art Pal having a look up the inside of Demon R. Can't get it done. SGP trying to make a move. Yeah, he'll get that done in the slipstream. And now we've got a bit of a fast Essers, Ray, onto a crucial part of the circuit, the long uphill straight to the Essers.
Yeah, and Conrad's build in front of Steve F1, and then it'll be pretty hard on the brakes for a short time and go through this like bus stop area.
Absolutely, these cars handle very differently to rear-wheel drive cars through that chicane, and I would expect to see lots of overtaking into that bus stop chicane. It's in a way, the sort of from turn 2 onwards, it's a little bit like Spa, isn't it? Sort of like a flat Eau Rouge and then onto a long straight. So I think we should see some good runs. I think Rich Blue, he's fallen way back at the start here. I think he might have had a bit of a moment up the hill. But for Connor in his championship battle, this is a great start to the race. Let's see, Art Pal sitting in 5th, got Nelly behind him, but Nelly's actually being hunted a little bit by Critical, and with there being 12 cars on the grid, Ray, which car is going to be the last with a boost?
7th, maybe 6.
Yeah, I think he might be... Oh, Demon R's got a run here on Steve F1. But if he pulls out of the slipstream, I don't think he'll be able to get the move done. He might want to do a bit of bump drafting. You know what he is. Let's work together. Oh, pack cam. Free wide. Oh, breathe in.
Gonna work.
Main screen's not watching it. Did they get through? They did get through.
They did, yeah.
Yeah, they didn't stay free wide, which is good.
I just seen that roof and I was like, what the hell is that?
Jimmy, yeah, unfortunately from the Pack Cam camera angle, it's a bit hard to tell what it is, but from the Pack Cam camera angle, it is
not supposed to be a Swift.
Well, it's Taylor Swift's sort of neck down. so her head is below the camera, unfortunately. Sounds a bit dodgy, that, but there we go. And we've got a bit of a gap brewed over this last lap, Ray, from that 3-wide moment, actually. So that 3-wide moment has created this gap from 4th to 5th, which means Artpal may struggle to close that gap back in unless these front 4 start to battle. And I think they're actually close enough to give it a good go down the main straight here, or the back straight here.
Yeah, might be a wee bit of bum drafting first and then seeing how close they are at the chicane, but Connor's on defence mode already.
Yeah, Connor going defensive. Demonar trying to bump draft Steve F1 into helping with the overtake, but it hasn't happened. Artpal fending off Critical, who's just been given a bit of a nudge up the arse end by Nelly. Demonar going a little bit wide here, SGP following. Well, interesting though that Steve F1, even with a bit of a bump draft, wasn't able to make the overtake there, Ray. I'm quite surprised at that.
Yeah, and plus he doesn't want to have any little mistakes that could take him points away, that he's got more of a challenge against Connor.
Absolutely. Okay, that gap hasn't really grown much between 4th and 5th. SGP's got a bit of a run on Demonar, having a look, but thinking better of it. And to be fair, it's worth thinking better of it, because if you get a good run out of 2 and up the hill, which Steve F1 hasn't done there, that's put Demonar right up behind him. But in this position, Ray, Demonar's better off bump drafting, isn't he? Or is Steve F1 far enough away that he won't get slipstream and he can pass him? No, it's too close. Excuse me.
Yeah, it's still a wee bit too close for this Steve F1 getting the slipstream. We're going 3 wide. I thought we were going 3 wide.
Connor going defensive again, though, fending off Steve F1. Here comes SGP, nearly got up the inside of Demonar there. Critical on the pack. I'm all over the back of Artpal still. So interestingly, Artpal still holding on to that 5th place. Not really been attacked yet that I've seen. But yeah, I mean, interestingly, Steve F1 keeping Connor's slipstream is helping him to not be overtaken by Demonar, but even with a bit of a bump draft, Steve F1, Connor's gone a bit wide. That could be an opportunity.
Steve F1 going to get the run out this corner here. I don't know, he looks a wee bit back.
Yeah, he does a little bit, doesn't he? Maybe Connor's getting a better run out of that final corner. Turn 1 is a very interesting one, though. I mean, for me personally, you want to be clobbering that apex curb. It opens up the corner nicely. Steve F1 has got a much better run on this occasion. He's opened up the gap a bit to Demonar, and he's closer to Conrad. Artpal on the pack cam has got Critical sniffing his exhaust fumes. Unfortunately, Critical, it doesn't smell like Taylor Swift.
Nah. He smells like appealing.
I bet people would pay to smell Taylor Swift's exhaust fumes. And yes, that was a euphemism. Critical, having a go.
They not do that, fart in a jar and sell them?
Yes, they do. I can't remember who it is, but yeah, there's a few people that have done that, famous people. Obviously not just random people. Steve F1's got a bit of a run on Connor into the penultimate corner. He's having a look. Thinks better of it. I mean, it's interesting, Ray. We're 5 laps into this race. 5 laps and 6. McConnor's going defensive. And we've not really seen anyone be able to fully attack Conrad until now. Oh, this could get interesting. Oh, it could get boring.
I think Steve F1's having to be very calculative about his... as he's making the move. Has he got it done?
No.
I don't think so. He's got to be a wee bit thinking of his moves, because he doesn't want to go for an overtake on Conrad, but it doesn't work out and ends up
behind Demonar.
Behind Demonar or further back.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
he went for that move, but I think he went deep in that turn 1. It didn't look like the right line to go round it.
Demonar trying to get side by side with Conrad in the first part. Hasn't quite worked. Steve F1 slips back up the inside. Demonar out to dry now. He might lose another position to SGP. But yeah, I think you're absolutely right. Down at turn 1, it did look like Steve went a little bit deep. He carried the speed, but unfortunately in these cars, it's very difficult to go deep into a corner and make a move. Artpal still holding on to that 5th place. He's broken away a little bit from Critical, who's got Nelly right up his gearbox. And yeah, that battle over the course of this lap, Ray, has just put these 4 right back together again.
Yeah, and we can just see the pack in the background there. So Steve F1. Oh, did he miss his braking or something?
Well, maybe he tried going a little bit deeper on the brakes. It didn't quite work. Yeah, so, I mean, that's kind of what I was mentioning, though. With these cars, if you go deeper, it doesn't really work because the car needs to do the steering and the accelerating. Yeah, it doesn't quite work. Steve F1 sort of just worked that out. He may have also been given a bit of a bump draft just before the corner. So if he was trying to brake a little bit later while going a bit faster, that would also have a knock-on effect. Artpal is no longer in 5th place, Ray. I didn't see it, but I'm guessing it was on the pack cam. There's quite a bit going on the... Yeah, they're definitely wide, aren't they?
Where was that? That's a chicane. I thought something must have happened at the chicane.
Yeah, so it must have done. I was too busy looking at Taylor Swift's bosom. Steve F1 up the inside of SGP into the penultimate corner. Gets that move done quite nicely. Nelly battling Critical on the pack cam. You know what, Ray? I think this is the first time we've had a race where we're nearly 10 minutes in, we're nearly 9 minutes in, and the main camera hasn't gone to the pack cam, hasn't gone to the pack at all. I mean, it's not often we have a 4-way battle for the lead like we're having right now.
No, it's not. It's been I think it's been a while. I don't think it ever has been like this before. So yeah, it's because these guys are battling. It's a close championship at the minute, so and they're not drifting too far apart from each other, so that we can go and see the pack.
Yeah,
right with each other. So
absolutely. I mean, I suppose this is one of the things. I mean, we've talked before about ways of racing. Now, we talked before about how sometimes you see battles up at the front where drivers may be a little more measured, and as you were saying with Steve F1, thinking about where he's going to attempt making a move, trying to work out, okay, where can I be quicker, where can I try and make him go wide. And I do think it is a lot easier to race like that when you're not in the pack with boost, but that definitely seems to be what's happening. We're not seeing like any late Dandare moves into the braking zones, are we? And because we're not seeing that, the drivers are able to keep up a really good pace. I mean, Conrad's done a fair few laps in the 115s, which means that the 3 behind him are also going to be in the 115s because of how close it is.
Yeah, and they'll be getting his upstream, so nearly trying for a move on on the pack cam there. Yep. So Zimmer he's built out, hasn't he? He's got a wee bit of an overlap, but Conrad's got that defensive line. Now this is where Steve F1 can choose his line through and who to follow.
Oh, it's so nearly. Oh, that gap has opened up on that inside again. Oh, Steve F1. I think Demon R spotted it, but he's gone wide. Oh, you don't want to be out there. It almost looks like he's been. Oh, something's just happened on the pack cam. I saw a few cars off. It almost looked like Demon R was taking a penalty zone line. You know, they have them in like Formula E and MotoGP, I think have them now as well.
Oh, right. You have to go
out wide on a corner, to like lose time and serve a penalty. I actually like that for a way of serving a penalty, you know, having to like.
Is it not the Formula E? Is it not for the electrical boost?
The electrical boost, yeah, it is. That is correct. I was watching a motorbike race at Donington on TV a week or so ago, and on the Fogarty Loop at the hairpin, I was seeing Nelly being attacked, I think, or is it the car behind him? No, it's Cesar on Twilight on the back cam. Yeah, on the Foggy Loop at the hairpin, they had a penalty zone around the outside of the hairpin. Worked really well, apart from one guy who went to serve his penalty and turned in. He was going too fast and ended up off his bike. Served the ultimate penalty. Steve F1 got a bit of a run on Conrad there. Bit of a gap opening up now. It was on the pack cam. Oh, he's getting busy into that chicane. Steve F1's close. Can he attack? Connor's going defensive. Sorry, go on.
Well, I got ahead of SRI, or they're battling through that chicane here as Steve F1's going to go for a switch back, so stay out wide here, cut it in and get the inside line.
He's trying.
Yeah, he's trying. I think he's got an overlap.
Yeah,
Just has.
He has. This would be a good opportunity, but what that's going to do is he's going to put the two behind him right up their arse again. Look, SGP nearly tagged the back of Conrad. Steve F1 makes the move. Connor's going to have the slipstream now. Demon R's going to close in on them as well. So we've seen Connor defending up here quite well for 13 minutes. Let's see how Steve F1 gets on. He's already been passed by Conrad, so he's not even going to get a chance to defend.
Yep. They're still there. Steve F1 can't even switch sides because there's still a wee bit of an overlap here.
Absolutely. Oh, as they get close, Demon R sniffing. Demon R going to try and do what Steve F1 did to him. Can't quite get it done. Oh, Steve F1 got a little bit wobbly there. Pat Cam, side by side. Oh, critical! Oh, my days. His car just pierced left, didn't it? Right, even.
Yeah, before the chicane.
Yeah.
Just right on the game. Might have just turned in too quick.
Or maybe, I don't know, maybe I touched, well, he kind of touched the grass. I don't know, maybe there was an extra downshift or maybe too hard on the brakes. Maybe, I don't know, I mean, if you've got the brake bias all the way to the front, I mean, I wouldn't do that myself in these cars, but if you have, or even to the rear, maybe it's locked the rear of Steve F1, having a look into one, but Stephen R's tagged him up the arse end. That saved him a little bit, and on the pack cam, Twilight and Art Pal side by side down into turn one.
Yeah.
Bob.
Art Pal went a wee bit deep, but he's kind of boxed in by SRI in a minute.
Steve F1's got a run on Connor here, but hasn't got the speed. Connor doing extremely well when he's in the lead here to hold on, heading into the bus stop. And as they get through the bus stop, my eyes go to the pack cam to see what might happen there in the chicane. They're 2x2 behind Twilight. Have they got through? They have. Nice. Oh, Steve F1 trying this move again, isn't he?
Yeah, I think the single failed themselves before going into the chicane.
Yep. Conrad going defensive into the final corner again. Steve F1 will get a run. Demon R's, I think, might have a run on the both of them. SGP doing extremely well to still be there, right? Oh, look at this. Nose to tail over the start finish. Demon R's in the best position here. Connor goes nicely out wide to tuck back on Steve F1. Covers Demon R off as well. Oh, this is the closest they've been so far. It's like watching the human centipede in Suzuki Swifts.
Yeah, Steve F1 isn't covering that right-hand corner. That's where Conrad's getting caused less.
Oh, free wide. Sorry to cut you off there. SGP could make it 4. Demon R thinks better of this. Side by side they go. Conrad thought better of it as well. That's brilliant driving from the 4 of these guys up at the front. You're absolutely right though, Ray, that the right-hander of the fast Essses, Steve F1 wasn't covering that inside line, but I think Connor was just getting his nose in there and Steve F1 couldn't get across. But that 3 wide moment has just opened these guys up a little bit as Connor has a look at Demon R.
Yeah, Mark, at what, 3.5 minutes-ish to go in this first race. As I hear tires squealing, Steve F1 must be pushing it.
I was just watching Art Pal and SRI coming through the penalty zone. Neither of them serving a penalty, but very tight battle there. Art Pal behind Twilight, SRI, and who is it? I don't know who else is there. Bob, yeah, and Jimmy, I would guess.
Jimmy.
Yeah.
Bob and Jimmy.
Okay, yeah. So can Demon R, Conrad, and SGP close back up to Steve F1 now that he has got into the lead with a little bit of a gap? They should get slipstream here. It could be sensible for Conrad to do a little bit of bump drafting here. Or maybe a little bit too late to do it. They've really closed up though, haven't they?
Yep. Getting back together.
Yeah, so this definitely isn't over. We're now 17 minutes in, and the camera hasn't changed. And on the pack cam, there's still a mental battle going on. I mean, apologies, folks, that the pack cam isn't going. So the main screen isn't going to the pack. Demon R's got a little bit wide. Excuse me, it's gone very wide.
It's going to be a bit annoying unless he lifted quite a lot, but he's losing places. So does Conrad feel nudge? Conrad's slowed down as well.
I think you might be right. I think Conrad may have tagged the back of Demon R there, sent him a little bit deep, and Conrad let Demon R back through and then made the overtake again on the pack cam.
Music to Steve
F1's ears. Yeah. I dread to think what music Steve F1 listens to.
I bet he is some heavy metal shit.
You know what? I bet it is. Right? I mean, for anyone, Conrad's about to try and make a move on SGP. For anyone that doesn't know, Steve F1 is not a tall fellow. He's not a heavy fellow. I suppose if he was a female, we'd call him petite, and not Emmanuel Petite. But I bet he is like a Rammstein, like fucking headbanger. But
not.
Yeah, but probably can't do headbanging because might break his neck if he did. I mean, the thing is, I can say that because I'm an extremely overweight person, and I could break my neck just by looking for my next bit of food. But there we go.
Seen that TikTok guy where he gets a scare and he fucking flips his neck? Jesus, how does it not break?
No, I've not seen that. You'll have to send it me. Okay, this battle up at the front then has spread out a little bit now. Steve F1 has got a bit of a gap for the championship. That will help him massively. But Conrad, he could really do with getting past SGP. Because I think if he finishes...
We're going to be on the last lap, so he's got a lot to catch up.
Absolutely. On the pack cam, Jimmy going defensive, Rich Blues going wide, SRI in the middle of the pack. One of them is closing in on the back of Art Pal. It's Jimmy as Conrad trying to make the move here. Maybe too far away for a slipstream, but has he got the Yep, he's got the to make the move.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be a bit wide and SGP could
pack up.
Just keep that tighter line as we see
Pack up.
Jimmy and Art Pal.
Pack up! Sorry, go on.
Going to be close.
That was close. I was expecting carnage there. But yeah, there wasn't. That was actually... Oh, Steve F1's going to be wide! Could it be a penalty? That'd be a killer. That would. A penalty on the... No, I don't think he's got a penalty. It's going to be victory for Steve here then at Watkins Glen. Conrad is going to take the second place. SGP in third. Demon R nearly got him for fourth. No, hey, there are other cars in this race now. Nelly is going to cross the line in fifth. Art Powell sixth place. Oh, he's close with Jimmy and Twilight. It's Everson and SRI. And Twilight steals the position. Excuse me. What a...
We jumped from...
Yeah.
We missed out.
There were more cars on the grid, honest. Well, yeah, I mean, to be fair, it's unusual that the main screen doesn't jump to the pack at all. But one of the rules we have when it comes to getting the footage, I got the footage, is we look at the closest battle to the front as long as there's action going on. And there was action from start to finish in those front four. That was absolutely brilliant. Difficult to say exactly. Go on.
We don't want to be like that channel that hosted F1 and never get any bloody overtakes.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. We don't want to be like that. But that's why we have the pack cam as well. Because imagine this race without the pack cam. You wouldn't know there was other cars in it. So hopefully everybody else had a good race. But now we move over to Sardegna, where we're going to run the last race result reversed, which means Critical is going to be sitting on pole position, so he finished in last place. Bob just behind him in second place, and then we've got Rich Blues in third, SRI in fourth, and now Ray, you get to have a look at Jimmy's Taylor Swift.
You don't know, see it? Jimmy in fifth, Twilight sixth, there Art Pal seventh, Nelly eighth, Demon R ninth, SGP 10th,
Connor.
11.
Yep.
I was trying to count. Steve F112. Now, do you think Critical's learned from the last time and he DNF?
Maybe. Now, the only thing I do know is he's not a fan of this track. We're at 4 lights, 5 lights. Let's see how they get on. Away we go. Excuse me, I've got a very tickly throat. Looks like Critical has had a decent getaway. So has Bob. SRI's got a good run on Rich Blues. Rich Blues going to the inside line. Now, this Sardegna circuit kind of looks like a meerkat and can often create a little bit of chaos in a few of the corners. Ooh.
Rich. Oh, it's 3 wide. It's going to be a wee bit tricky around here. Oh, Rich on that curb. Hopefully it doesn't spit him out.
Spinner! Oh, dear. Oh, big spin for Art Pal there. Hopefully he can swiftly get going again. Critical has managed to hold on to the lead. Bob in second place. You realise what I did there, didn't you? SRI third, Jimmy fourth, Nelly fifth. Steve F1 is already up to sixth. Someone drug test him. Mate, what's that I can hear? Du hast nicht.
Got out in the SGP, getting a wee bit fisticuffy there, and into that hairpin, which is sometimes a nightmare if you don't get your braking point right.
Absolutely, but not only that, I find this corner here, it's such a quick corner, but it's so easy to run wide, as a couple of cars did there, and I think Bob just got massively sideways. So Steve F1's about to take another position. But yeah, so the penultimate left-hander, it's a very quick corner, but if you get it slightly wrong, you'll go straight on and end up in the grass and potentially the wall and potentially spinning around.
Yep, as we see Steve F1 late on the brakes there. Look how much he's caught up in SRI. He's on a mission.
He is, isn't he?
He's got his head down. He's got
his head up. He's got his head down. He's got his head up. But yeah, he's absolutely flying here at the start of this race. To be fair, a little cheeky switchback. SRI went a little bit deep on the brakes. SRI will have the inside line, though, for this cambered downhill right-hander. But you're actually better off, I think, being on the outside line here, because it'll give you a faster run down the hill onto this left-hand kink. But then it's all about, can you get your braking right? If I was Steve F1, I'd be tempted to look at doing the switchback on this next corner, as SRI goes a little bit earlier on the way in and covers it off nicely. Lovely move, Twilight dipping the wheel in the background. And Steve F1 going very wide here to try and get the exit. He's got the exit. SRI's in trouble now because he's not going to be able to carry the speed. He might run wide. He's done well to hold on to that.
I reckon Steve F1 was in a bit of Iron Maiden. On to the hill.
Yeah, singing is definitely not your strong point. That almost sounded like a bad impression of somebody going, "You are 16, I am 17." Yeah, you might be too young for that. Anyway. Okay, so
a wee bit of Judas Priest turbo loving his turbo.
It could be. You know what, right? You said before this that we won't have time for jokes. Steve F1 making them trying this same move he tried before. Can he get ahead on the exit though? Right wide. Was there a bit of contact there? I don't know. Bob trying to move on SRI.
To the radio, SRI's telling Steve F1 just to keep going.
Crazy horses!
He's got the other
championship contender, yeah.
Yeah.
SRI's gone straight on! Oh dear!
That's Dirty Tires.
Is that a song, is it? I've not heard that song.
Dirty
Tires.
Don't make you stop.
Oh dear. So yeah, you say we won't get any jokes in. What's your feelings about mum jokes? You know, like your mum's so fat, that kind of stuff.
I think it's alright depending on the situation. Like tend to most let it go over my head.
Fair enough.
But
yeah, I suppose it does depend what mood you're in, doesn't it?
Not just mood as well. It depends on the situation and when
true.
it's getting cold.
Well, yeah, that is true. Okay, Steve F1 has caught right up to the back of Critical. Critical, will he be able to hold on to this? I'm not so sure, because Steve F1 is absolutely flying. I think he might even have the move done down into the hairpin, you know. Why is it you think that this hairpin is as difficult as you mentioned? Because it is. Oh!
But you've got this bit of a kink, and then you've got to, well, not in these cars, it's a wee bit more manageable, but other cars, you've got to get on the brakes, maybe sometimes just right after that kink.
Mm-hmm.
And it's weird. It's like you don't think it's a very slow corner until you're on it.
Yeah.
It's corner. It's Steve F1's trying to push Critical.
Conrad. Critical's gone well wide. He might even get a penalty there. Conrad comes through. Says thank you very much. Wow. 6 minutes, and the championship leaders are now nose to tail over the start-finish line in first and second, with Connor going for the overtake straight away. Can he get it done? Yes, he does. Can he keep it on the track? Yes, he does. Wow. Oh, no, Steve F1's back up alongside.
And he's liking his wee switcheroos, isn't he?
He is, yeah.
Oh.
I
don't know if was that lag or contact?
It's difficult to tell.
Steve jumped back just a little bit there.
Well, interestingly, you know, I know the first couple of races we did in this championship, I know we felt there was a bit too much contact and there was a bit too much messiness going on. But what we've seen in the first race tonight and in this race again with these two is this is what we were expecting from the Suzuki Swift. You can really have a really good battle, because being offline makes such a difference to the amount of speed you can carry through a corner. So you can really set someone up for an overtake, and they can really lose a lot of time if you set them up well enough. Conrad coming under a bit of pressure now from Steve F1 down the main straight, or not onto the main straight yet, sorry. Going into the Meerkat neck. Now we're onto the main straight. There's Art Pal having a look up the inside of SRI. Yeah, so... there we go.
Yeah, Art Pal, he's going to have to run down the hill. There's a bum draft in SRI. Well, Twilight's sticking it next to the pit wall.
I think he was trying to hide. Demon R having a look up the inside of SRI and Art Pal. Can't get anything done there, though. Art Pal slots in behind SRI as well, and Conrad's opened up a bit of a gap to Steve F1. I wonder if he's had a bit of a moment somewhere.
Conrad's paced, because he had to catch Steve F1, and we know Steve F1 is on a mission. Conrad's on an even bigger mission.
That he is. Well, I mean, regarding...
Especially losing the first race here.
Yeah. Well, I was going to mention about that. With the result that we had, who's this here, batting on, it's Art Pal, Critical, and Nelly and SGP. So Critical had a good start to the race, but as I said, he doesn't like this track, he doesn't know it that well. So he'll do well to hold on here, but it could get tricky for him. Nelly and SGP really closing in as Steve F1 on the pack cam has closed in on Conrad once again. So the championship, Nelly. I thought Nelly was a goner then. Connor had a 1 point lead going into that first race. With Steve F1 winning it and gaining 3 points over Conrad, he now has a 2 point lead over Steve F. Well, no, Steve F1 has a 2 point lead over Conrad, as SGP trying to make this move on Nelly and Critical down into turn 1.
Yeah, there's SGP out the fighting. I don't think he's close enough to Critical, but Critical, that inside of that curb is just as if it wants to bounce you out as you come back over it.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, it's one of those where if you get it right, you can hook your wheel just inside the curb, and it'll pull you around the corner nicely. get it slightly wrong and it will bounce you across the road and you'll be looking at going out wide, and you do not want to go out wide on the exit of turn 1, just like you don't want to go out wide on the exit of this corner either. Now, something else we should mention regarding the championship is that, unfortunately, because of the postponement to the last pair of races, it has pushed this championship back 1 week, and unfortunately for Conrad, he's away at Silverstone next week. So his only way at the moment of perhaps winning this championship is if he goes and kills Steve F1 before he goes to Silverstone next week. But yeah, I mean, we can talk a bit that. Go on.
If they offer to go up to don't go Steve F1.
Yeah, if you get an all-inclusive paid holiday up north, don't go. Critical, unfortunately, went a little bit wide. Go up.
And to get a Geordie jumper as well.
Yeah, it'll be a different kind of jumper off a bridge. But yeah, Twilight and SRI side by side. There's Twilight just caught that curb, and you see it sent him all the way out to the edge of the track there. Very easily done as Demon R closing in on the back of him with Art Powell right up his chuff. And Bob, I tell you what, it's been a cracking race. I mean, we're already 11 minutes into this race, and there's a lot going on everywhere. The front two have broken away a little bit, but they're still in a bit of a battle as we're looking on board Conrad on the pack cam as SRI opening up a little bit of a gap. Go on.
Why do we call this the pack and not the herd?
Because herds stink of cow shit.
Just for us, because we drive like wolves.
I thought you was going to say something like, because it is like, it's more like, I like the way you move.
That's what a move.
Yeah.
What do you call a group of transgender?
Oh God, here we go. Try again.
Women.
Go on. I knew the herd comment was leading up to something. I just didn't know what. So come on. I don't know. Come on. What does that transgender group of women called? Go on.
The X-Men.
Oh my goodness, man. That's not bad actually. Oh dear.
We're not here to we're well offended.
Yeah, we were. Well, whoever created that.
Joke.
Well, I was gonna say whoever created. Oh, SRI's off. Whoever created that joke, right? Their mum is so slow. It took them 9 months to make a joke.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, back to the action.
Off with this Swifty car.
Say it what? Say again. I didn't hear that. Sorry, my brain was.
I'm trying to see the top of that Swifty car. Jimmy's.
Yeah. Well, just Google her.
I want to see what he's. If it
is
appropriate.
Well, that is true with Jimmy. Yeah. Well, I believe it is. I mean, things I do know that on the side of his car, he is showing some of his fanboy moments because he's got Jimmy Superfly Snooker on the side, and some people may not know who that is. He is a famous professional wrestler. Bob's wrestling the car there. Is done well.
Well done well as well. He was nearly a goner there as well.
Okay, we are 6.5 minutes left in this race. Conrad and Steve F1 still lead. There's a bit of a gap between them, which is why we've not been looking at them for a while. We've got Art Powell, Jimmy, side by side. SRI trying to get involved as well. Jimmy up the inside. Will he go deep? No, he holds on to the position. Nice overtake. Can Art Powell have a look up the inside to the left? No. SRI trying to come round the outside. No, Jimmy's gone wide. Oh dear.
SRI's
through as well.
I thought he was going to get Art Powell there, but it's just a camera angle.
Nice move from Art Powell and SRI there on Jimmy. Demon R trying to close in now on the back of Critical. Critical's done well so far, holding on to the 5th place. He is at risk though of getting clobbered by the pack any moment. Excuse me, I'm really gassy today. Excuse me.
I thought Demonar was going to clobber his backside there, but no, as Steve.
Yeah, code Brown. But that's the thing. That's what I was on about with this left-hander. It's so easy to do that as critical. Luckily for critical, he had 2 wheels on the curb there, which meant he was able to stay stable, but he did lose the position. Got a bit of a run though on Demonar now, maybe a bit of dirty tyres. When we see Demonar go defensive, he's 3 wide behind them. Arpo, SRI, Jimmy. Critical doing a bit of bump drafting, that's wise. Now, interestingly, this is
smells real like Jimmy's got I think the SRI backed out of that. Twilight's got round outside of SRI.
Now, interestingly, this Jimmy sideways. Wow, he may have been helped on that one. I was going to say that this would be a good opportunity for Critical to try and perhaps follow Demonar as Jimmy goes deep again.
Like he's caught already up there.
Yeah. I do think in the practice on the Monday night and before the race, Demonar had good pace around here. Just unfortunately, I think with that first lap crash where Artpal wiped him out, I don't think it was his fault, but yeah, so with that, the SRI trying to go up the inside, Bob trying to go up the inside at 2. What a move! Artpal may have this though if he's brave, but he's got to make sure he doesn't go deep. SRI backs out. Jimmy slips in, taking it in turns.
I was going to say something, but
so was I. That's why I just stayed quiet. Bob! Big moment for Bob. And around here we got another spinner there as well.
He collected SRI.
Oh dear, that's a disaster for Bob and SRI, but there is still time for them to get back into this battle as Jimmy and Artpal go side by side down into turn 1. Jimmy making the move once again on Artpal. Let's see if Artpal can fight back. Critical holding on to that 6th place once again. So doing all right now. Perhaps that big collision just then has helped him out. Jimmy's going to go deep here.
You remember Artpal's other livery? It was all. It looked like somebody had just stuck random things all over his car.
Oh, yeah.
And your mum said, "That's a mess." As he showed them this livery, got feedback.
Maybe. Who's Jimmy got a run on here? He's got a run on Artpal, or is he defending from? He's defending from Artpal, isn't he? It's a cracking battle, this, to be fair. Jimmy holding on as the pack cam going through, looking at Bob and then back to Twilight. And then, So, Demonar's got a penalty. It's going wide as well. Oh, dear. You do not want to be out there.
Oh, give Critical a wee bit of...
position. Momentum.
Well, I was going to give him momentum and... I can't remember it. Fuck it. Let's go. Keep going.
Well, we're now 3 wide. Twilight gives Demonar a little bit of a nudge. That puts him back up 3 wide. And Demonar with the dirty tyres may not want to be trying to make the move there. So Critical now up to 5th place. Jimmy in 6th place. Artpal right behind Jimmy still. Jimmy and Artpal have been right going at it in this race in a good way. It has, to be fair.
It wasn't in a chat party.
Well, no, that's true. Honestly, if you think our singing's bad, you should hear. Actually, I wouldn't want you to hear Jimmy. It was bloody awful singing. I mean, Demonar, is he trying to go all the way around the outside of Jimmy here? You can sing all you like, but you've just lost a place. Well, what's that? You can sing when you're winning. It's a song title.
Was that not a part of the England's?
Yes.
Song I Get Knocked Down.
Yes, Chumbawamba. Yes, but also similar to It's Coming Home. It still hasn't. So yeah, and that was 30 years ago. Someone's gone wide. Is that Nelly? Blue Roof. I think that is Nelly. What position is Nelly? I'm guessing Nelly's in 4th.
Fourth.
Yeah.
Let me check. SGP's 3rd. Yeah, 4th.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Absolutely. Okay, so Jimmy, Twilight, side by side. down the start finish. Bob right there as well. So is SRI. SRI looked at making it 4 wide. Now gives Bob a bump draft. May be able to get a bit of a switch back here because Jimmy's kind of boxed in with Twilight. Bob going round the outside. Cheeky move. Has he got it done? He might have. Pal all over the back of Critical now. Oh, it's SRI dipping the curb and giving Jimmy a little
he went
nudge.
for that switchback. He went from the outside to switch back into turn 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Well, it'd have been the outside of 2, inside of 3.
I think it has worked as well because he and Bob are now side by side just about as Critical still holding on to that 5th place. The gap between... Oh yeah, we are. No, I didn't. Oh look, Taylor Swift on the Pack Cub.
that doesn't. You know that guy,
Sebastian. Oh no, we're not going to take it. I've not seen that. Conrad heading up to the finish line to take the victory. Here is Sardegna. I know the song. I don't know who sings it. No, I don't know. I couldn't picture them. Steve F1 2nd place. SGP 3rd. Nelly. It was Nelly that had that moment off. He is going to hold on to 4th place though. Critical holds on to 5th. We've got a bit of a battle going on further back. Artpal, Demon R, side by side. Artpal holds on. SRI holds on just ahead of Jimmy and Twilight. Bob crosses the line in 11th, and Richard already crossed the line a lap back. But yeah, that race seemed to go very, very quick there.
Sorry, I'm getting you.
You're getting me a picture, are you? Oh, well, apologies for the croaky throat and the gassiness today, folks, but sometimes that's the way it goes when you get excited on the microphone. Maybe we should just up to her. No. You know what? She has got so famous off that, right, that she's got merch out. Within 10 days of it happening, she's got merch out. But the funny thing is, she don't remember it. She was that hammered, she doesn't even remember saying it.
Yeah, that's what I don't like, is like people with cameras and microphone, people are out drinking and whatnot, and asking these sort of questions and whatnot.
Yeah.
It's like they can't try to take advantage of them being pissed.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. I mean, someone could have said something that gets them fired, for example. But to be fair, she's probably so famous now that she could make a fortune on merch. But yeah, I mean, to be fair, I think she's got a good enough sense of humour to go with it. The thing is, if you watch it back, right? Have you watched Cars?
It's
the kids' movie about the talking cars. Yeah. Right.
Yeah, Lightning McQueen.
Yeah, Lightning McQueen. Okay, well, at some point, go back and watch the Hawk Tour video and just picture Mater. Because she sounds just like him. But anyway, so, yeah, what a race we've had there. Absolutely brilliant. Fantastic from Steve F1 and Conrad to get through from the back of the grid as quick as they did. All the way up at the front and put on a good show. The pack battle seemed to be absolutely brilliant in that race. It didn't look... I mean, I can't really remember seeing anybody really hitting anybody off. So, well done to the drivers on that one. Absolutely brilliant. As much as we might have moaned about there being too much contact in the first couple of races, I think that was considerably better. There may still have been a couple of incidents, but that's going to happen in any kind of racing series. And I do believe we've got a couple of reports have been placed, and we'll deal with those. I'll give a bit of information on those a little later, and we'll also get on to the G-Spot. I do still need to put the last lot of penalties, reporter stuff on a G-Spot as well. Unfortunately, I've just been too busy, so apologies for that, folks. But yeah, two cracking races there, two very different races as well. In that first one, the battle with the front four was absolutely brilliant to watch. Very good offensive and defensive driving. I would say very clean as well. and in the pack, it was very difficult to really tell what was happening on the pack because of the nature of that circuit and the pack cam. So a bit difficult to really comment on what was happening there, but it looked like it was entertaining, that's for certain.
Oh yeah, definitely. The drivers always put on a show, and as you say, 2 different races. One, they were all fighting for first. 4 were fighting for first place, and then that second one, first place kind of had a bit of a gap and was never challenged.
Yeah, and I think it was SGP said it would be quite funny to re-record the footage of that race, pretending the front 4 aren't there. I actually kind of agree. I mean, maybe that's something I could do on a G-Spot. No commentary, just a video of that. But anyway, we'll see. I don't know if I've got the time, but it would be quite interesting. But yeah, and then this second race, such a different race because only 2 cars broke away at the front. And the pack battle, I mean, SGP and Nelly managed to break away partway through the race and they were fairly safe. But yeah, once again, an absolute ding-dong battle for that 5th place. Absolutely brilliant to watch. And as bad as Jimmy's singing was, his driving was a bit better.
It wasn't. No.
Oh, right, okay. Fair enough, it wasn't. Well, I thought it was, but anyway. What do I know? I'm just a commentator. I'm a common potato. Right. Well, Ray, is there anything that we need to you want to cover or discuss before we wrap this one up and go and look at this conference race results and standings and all that stuff? Actually, yes.
Yeah.
Go on.
Roses are red, violets are blue. She's a keeper if she.
If she what? You broke up then? I did hear it. It sounded like you swallowed a bollock. Come on, say again.
Roses are red, violets are blue. She's a keeper if she.
I'm guessing that was a hot tour. Fucking hell. Alright, okay. Oh, well done, well done. I shouldn't have let you have the time to do the jokes, to get the jokes ready. Something I do want I do want to talk about quickly. You might not want to, but I'm going to mention it anyway.
I don't wanna talk about.
No, Square. Okay, Conrad. Unfortunately, because of the races being postponed by a week, it's put the last 2 races onto Silverstone F1 weekend. Where Conrad is away. He's going to be at Silverstone. I'm guessing he must be going on the Thursday, so he can be there early Friday. So unfortunately for Conrad, he is going to miss the last 2 races. But I do believe he put a request in as well, Ray.
Yeah, he put a request in asking if it could be postponed. I said, yeah, sure, but the other...
Bullshit!
No. And, I thought the English would help the English out here, but no, it was the Scotch trying to help the English or the Geordie out. But unfortunately, we can't postpone it. The real reason we can't postpone it is because we have rules set in place so that we aren't postponing it race after race after race. So it's enough drivers tell us that they're not going to make it
by the Wednesday midnight. Yep.
By the Wednesday midnight, then we'll postpone it. If they don't, but numbers are low, I think sometimes I've had a vote of whether to go ahead because the drivers haven't bothered to message in saying they're not making it. So I think the kind of drivers and admins vote if they're going to go ahead with the race or not.
No, not quite. No, see that interesting. No, that's what used to happen. But because people have differences of opinion, that's why we came up with if we know by Wednesday midnight that there isn't going to be enough drivers, there's going to be 9 drivers or less, we'll postpone the race till the next week. But the race will go ahead the next week, regardless of how many drivers turn up. However, if it gets beyond Wednesday midnight and gets to Thursday, the race is going ahead. So if we get to race time and it turns out that people haven't let us know and there's only 8 drivers, the race goes ahead. And it's so that people don't have to have that vote, because some people might want to vote yes, might want to vote no. But also people may have had other opportunities of plans on those evenings and gone, no, I'm all right, I've got something important to do. And if then it gets cancelled at the last minute, it can be quite frustrating. So that's why we brought that in. So, once we get past Wednesday midnight, the only reason that a postponement would happen then is, well, it's not the only reason. The main reason would be if there isn't enough admins available, which is what happened this time. So, for example, it happened a few months ago where we did have to postpone a race night because my dad fell and broke his hip, and because I was at the hospital with my dad and SGP was at my mum's looking after her, we weren't available. We didn't have enough admins to host events, so we got postponed. This time around it was all SRI's fault. He said, I'm going to postpone this so that it screws Connor over. He didn't, so it's just unfortunate that the race was all set to go ahead. We knew we were going to be one admin short, but that was fine. But unfortunately, another one whose name shall not be mentioned was unavailable to race, and so we had to postpone it. So it is massively unfortunate for Conrad, and for anyone that thinks. To be honest, I thought this as well. I thought, well, maybe Steve F1 could just not finish the races next week, and Connor could still win. And that might not work, because there's 40 points up for grabs, and whoever's in third could go and win the championship, or whoever's in fourth could go and win it.
And also, would Connor want that? He won the championship because Steve F1 decided not to.
That's a good question. It's a good question. No, what Connor would like is for us to postpone it to the week after. He wants to fight for it, but I mean, it would open up a potential massive can of worms if we were to go. Yeah, you know what? Because of the circumstances, yes, we'll postpone it and we'll put it off till the next week. Now, it opens a massive can of worms, because then people could ask for postponements for a number of reasons. And as harsh as it may sound, people have asked in the past and we've said no. So people have asked because they're going on holiday and we've said no.
That'll be my dog's chewed my wires.
Yeah. But also, there can be unforeseen knock-on effects. So this is just a hypothetical, but let's say, for example, we go, okay, you know what? A nice thing to do would be to postpone the event, and we'll do it the week after, right? The week after comes, and unfortunately a few drivers aren't able to make it because we're into the summer holidays and those with kids are off on their jollies. So now it gets postponed again. But then the week after, it's got to go ahead regardless. Well, what would happen if Conrad wasn't available that race? Now we'd be 3 weeks later and in the same situation. So I know it sucks, and I can't emphasize my apology enough to Conrad that it could be taking away a chance of fighting the championship. But it's one of those where if we were to postpone it for those reasons, it could open a big can of worms that isn't necessarily easy or better to deal with. And something that Steve F1 actually said to me is, if Conrad keeps driving the way he is, he's going to win plenty of championships, because he's been pretty much, well, he's been beatable this championship, but he's been absolutely fine. The end of the last championship, he was the fastest on the grid. This championship is the fastest on the grid. There may not be a gold star coming his way on this championship. I think there's plenty more coming in the future, because the way he's been driving has been absolutely brilliant.
Yep, he's been improving quite a lot, actually.
Yeah,
We know he's fast. It was just not making the mistakes, and
Yeah,
we're seeing less and less of that.
Well, that's the thing. How many mistakes has he made in these 2 races here? None.
Well, one in the first one.
Yeah,
was
rammed
second.
me up the arse. Well, true, yeah. But no, I mean, but yeah, he's not. He's been driving a lot better. Right, okay. Time to wrap this one up. So yeah, thank you, Ray, for joining us on commentary.
No worries.
And
Thank you for having me, sorry.
so I just want to point out as well, for anyone that may ever think that the admins don't put any effort in or don't care, one of us here is doing commentary on their wedding anniversary, and it ain't fucking me. That's what Kirsty's saying. It ain't fucking me. He's so busy doing commentary when it should be fucking me. That sounds like something my mother would say. She would actually. But there we go. Right. Okay. So I've got so many. It's a weird connection, I know, but as you are aware, my mother can be quite hilarious at times. And I just had loads of different stories pop through my head, and I'm like, I think I've told that one. I'm not sure if I've told this one. So I have to be a little bit careful. Oh, actually, did I tell you about when we went to the funeral and the connecting door?
No.
Yeah, the connecting door in the hotel room.
No, I don't think so.
Right, okay. So now, when this happened afterwards, my mother did say, "Oh God, this is going to end up on your commentary, innit?" I was like, "No." Yeah. So Art Pal, who's my brother, booked a hotel with a disabled room because my mum had a stroke. My dad's has recently broken his hip and is recovering. Disabled room with connecting doors to the next room. So that me and Art Pal would be in the next room and we could help the parents without having to fuck about. So we get to the hotel and we're checking in, and John says, "So we've got the connecting rooms yet?" And she goes, "No." I was like, "What do you mean no? We've booked connecting rooms." "We haven't got connecting rooms available." Sorry, a very attractive woman just walked past the door, past the window. They haven't got a connecting room available. So that didn't start us off very well. They were able to put us in a room opposite, so it's like, okay, but we're still pissed off. So we settle in, we do what we're doing for that day, that evening. I think now, yes, it was. So we chilled out in the rooms for a bit. And then John says to Art Pal, says to me, "Should we go for a pint in the bar?" I was like, "Yeah, right then." So we walk out to the bar. My dad's already sat there having a pint. I was like, "Oh, where was our fucking invite?" "Well, I didn't think you'd be interested." "Yeah." "So, well, where's Mum?" "Oh, she's chilling in the room." "Okay." So a little bit later, I get a phone call off the mother. And she says, "Where are you lot?" I says, "We're in the bar." She says, "Oh, can I come and join you?" I was like, "Yeah, of course you can. Do you want me to come and get you?" She's, "Yeah, because I'm a bit lost." I said, "What do you mean you're a bit lost?" "Well, a lovely young lady's just brought me a cup of tea." I'm like, "Okay. Why she brought you a cup of tea?" "Oh, well, I had a bit of an emergency." "Right, so you've had an emergency. Why didn't you phone us?" "Oh, well, I decided to phone the front desk instead." "Right, okay, so what have you phoned the front desk for?" "Well, I was chilling out on the bed and then I realised I needed the loo. So I got up and went to go to the bathroom, but when I opened the door, I was confronted with another door and I panicked and I didn't know what to do. And then I turned around and I saw there was a commode, so I used the commode, so I'm all right there. And I'm like, okay, well, so what's the emergency? So, "Well, I don't know where the bathroom is." I was like, okay. Yeah, so I rang the front desk to ask where the bathroom was. And a lovely young lady brought me a cup of tea and showed me where the bathroom was. So what had happened was, in a panic, she'd got up and thought, "I need to go to the loo," went to the nearest door she could see, opened it, it was a connecting door to the next room, which was locked. So instead of seeing a bathroom, she's just got another door with no door handle or anything. Now she's freaking out. But instead of phoning us and going help, she phoned the front desk to ask where the bathroom was, because she didn't think about walking the extra 10 yards towards the front door to find out where the bathroom was. But thankfully, the nice young lady that came to check on her brought her a cup of tea as well. All while we're just sat at the bar having a pint.
Did you clean the commode?
No, she didn't. I had to do that. But yeah, so we ended up taking the piss out of my mother for a couple of days on that one. But yeah, so you were right, Mother. That has ended up on commentary. So yeah. So whenever it was like, I think I'm going to go to the room and have a sleep. Do you know which door you're going into? Anyway, right, enough of my weird stories. Thank you, Ray. Thank you for everyone for listening. Let's check out the conference race results and the results of any reports, and then the championship standings. Confirmation then of the race results. So race 5, Steve F1 with victory, maximum 20 points, Conrad second place, SGP in third, Demon R in fourth, Nelly in fifth, Arpal sixth, Twilight seventh, Jimmy in 8th, SRI in 9th, Rich Blues in 10th, Bob in 11th, and Critical in 12th. Now we'll have a look in a moment at the race 6 result. A couple of reports were placed for that race, but there's been no penalties applied, so it doesn't affect the result at all. And the result is as follows: Conrad with the victory, maximum 20 points. Steve F1 second place, SGP in third, Nelly in fourth, Critical in fifth, Artpal sixth, Demon R seventh, SRI in 8th, Jimmy in 9th, Twilight in 10th, Bob in 11th, and Rich Blues in 12th. And in a second, we'll take a look at what that has done to the championship standings. But we do need to remember, as we've mentioned quite a bit, Conrad unable to race the last 2 races with the postponement having been in place. So it is as follows: Conrad leading the way on 106 points by only 1 point to Steve F1. There's a bit of a gap then. 28 points back is Demon R in third place, and we've got SGP 4 behind him in fourth. Arpal 4 behind him in 5th, Nelly 3 behind him in 6th, so still a battle going on really for that third place position, with a maximum 40 points available from the last 2 races. Critical in 7th place on 46 points. He now heads quite a gaggle of cars. 8th place Rich Blues on 45 points, tied with SRI, and they are 7 ahead of Twilight, who's in 10th place. Bob is 8 back from Twilight, sitting in 11th place, and then we've got a bit of a gap, 11 points down to Jason in 12th, and 2 back then to Jimmy in 13th. 13 points then to Gary in 14th. But as we know, Gary unable to make the last few races with the newborn baby having turned up. I said that like it just knocked on the door and went, hello! It didn't do that. It went, name me Gary! And if anyone's wondering why I say that, Gary's entry message into the DGT lobbies, when you enter the lobby, it automatically pops up a message that you can edit. His says, name your kids Gary. And have you named your kid Gary? I don't think so. But anyway, good luck to all of you. Okay, we've got 2 more races to go. Off the top of my head right now, I can't remember which tracks they are. But they're going to be short ones. They're going to be mental ones. It's going to be frantic. It's going to be the last races of this championship before we take at least a 2-week break going into the summer holidays. Right, thanks for watching, listening. You know what to do. Like, subscribe, hit that notifications bell. And yeah, if you want to see how this championship is going to pan out, come and find out next week. Have a good one, everybody. And we'll see you all again soon.